Well, hello again, Dirtfish friends. The Col de Fontbelle, David. One of the most iconic spots on the Monte Carlo rally, and it's iconic for a very good reason. Maybe snow.
Ice. And quite possibly, Col, on the Col.
Call on the call.
Well
Hey!
Maybe the only place we're going to see snow on this year's route, because from here we head south and it gets warmer, doesn't it? Down towards Turini, Alp Maritime. So yeah, quite.
So the Col de Fontbelle, folks, is normally on the Sisteron stage. Now, if you have a look at the itinerary this year, you won't see the name Sisteron because they've shortened it. They've taken 16 kilometres off the start. Used to start down by the river, more or less in the town, didn't it, David? Wound its way up. They always came across the Col de Fontbelle. Starts in the village of Saint-Genier.
And it still comes across the Col.
And it still does. And it comes to here. And as you say, you know, Monte Carlo Rally, we always hope for a little bit of snow. You know, sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. I remember we were based not in Gap, where were we?
Valence,
in Valence a few years ago. And nearly every stage had wonderful thick snow.
Yeah.
And it was almost a little bit of an anticlimax. It looked great, but there was no real tyre choice. Everyone went with studded tyres. What we want is a situation where things are a little bit unpredictable. And in some ways, this gives us that, David.
It more than gives us this, Col, because we haven't literally, you know, quite a lot of the times you've come up onto this stage and you've done maybe a kilometre. You know, there's some very famous hairpins just back down there. We're going to tell you a story about those in a minute. You come over the Col and then you go down the hill and it's gone. 3 or 4, maybe even 5 kilometres, patchy snow. It is Tuesday. They're not in here till Saturday, so we've got a few days before they come. But as you keep saying, it's north facing.
It's north facing and it's cold. It's not going to go. You almost have patches of snow and ice up here, I'm told, nearly all year round.
Really?
Do you believe that?
No.
No, I'm not sure I believe it either, but anyway, it is possible.
It is the most interesting stage this time because it's at the end of a 3-stage loop. So obviously you've got to make your tyre choice for the whole of those 3 stages. And I've written down.
Cars are wrecking.
It's
wrecking. Let's move this way, camera boy. Let's go this way.
So the tyre selections, we have 24.
Keep coming this way, David.
24 super soft P0s. We have 20 soft tyres. You're not listening to me.
And I'm watching what he's doing. Look, he's obviously just checking out just where the
grip
is. I am listening to you. 24.
And then how many softs?
A few.
20. And then we have 24 Sotto Zeros with the stud and 12 with no studs. So what would you take?
Wow.
What would you take firstly for this stage, and then what would you take for the loop, bearing in mind the rest of the loop is likely to be dry?
So 20 kilometres this stage. As David rightly said, there's about 3 kilometres of patchy snow and ice. You then come on the ascent. I said about 5. You exaggerated a touch.
We haven't been down the other side yet.
Well, no, but as you come up and then you come across the top and there's 3 or 4 kilometres of this, which is really pretty consistent snow and ice. You know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I would say, again, it's 11 o'clock. Would you risk a super soft? Because as you go down the other side, there's hairpins, it's fast, it could be warm. You could what it?
You could cook it.
Cook it, thank goodness you said cook. Just as that car disappeared there, I thought you might have said a rather rude word, but he didn't.
Colin,
it's a really difficult one, and people who are...
No, stop pontificating, tell me. You've got to go, you're going out of service now. What tyres are you putting on the car? Come on, Colin.
I'm on the phone to George Donaldson, he's doing the maths, he's working out how much time I'm going to lose, how much time I'm going to gain. I'm going to go with the softs.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to get lots of heat into them before I get here.
Yeah. So you're going with 4 softs. I'm going with a cross.
I didn't say 4. I said I'm going with the softs, and I might have put 2 super softs in the boot just in case.
I would put winters. I would put...
no way. Absolutely not a chance. I'm going to say now, we will not see a winter tyre on this rally.
Really?
Not a chance.
Okay.
Not a chance. Not a chance. As you go down that other side with a winter tyre...
€5.
10. 10
euros.
10 euros. We will not see a winter tyre on this event. David, how hot would they get on that section coming up here? How hot going down the other side?
That's a good point.
Really good point.
Maybe you've got 10
He's brighter
euros.
than me, he is.
Yeah.
But listen, folks, here's the interesting thing. We're seeing the cars wrecking. They all wreck, and as we know, they do 2 passes. So they'll all know where the snow and ice is. They'll note it. They've then got their ouvriers, the opening cars, the ice cars, who go through before the stage starts. They'll be well aware of where these patches are. But we don't have to go back too far. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. This was at the second stage of the rally. It was on the Thursday evening. Everyone knew there was snow and ice here. A number of cars, including I think Chris Meek, Ogier went off for a while as well. Number of cars dropped
Thierry
off
and
the road.
Austin.
Neuville went
Yeah.
off. So even although they're aware of the snow and ice, there is still Jeopardy.
Oh,
That's
there
my
we-
first Jeopardy of the year. There is still Jeopardy on this one.
And there really is here. And we were going to tell you that story about Francois Delacour. We saw Francois at the start of the stage wrecking in a Porsche 911. What a
Targa.
fabulous man. So I can't remember the year. It was about 91, something like that. And obviously Francois is localish to this area.
He knows it very well.
He knows it. I mean, he's further
Incredibly
south,
well,
isn't he?
yeah.
From Marseille.
Yeah.
But knew this stage incredibly well and knew that just like today, there was top sort of 3 kilometres, there was a lot of snow and a lot of really thick ice. He had taken a racing tyre to come up, and he'd been on the phone to his friends, finding out exactly where the snow started, where the ice started, and he knew exactly how to get the car up those hairpins on this tyre, on this specific tyre. So as he got into the first hairpin, all of his friends sort of descended to the car and were going to push, and I'm sure he opened the door and he was shouting, "Leave it, leave it, leave it," because he didn't want anybody to disturb the balance of the car coming up.
Wow.
And he inched his way up and over. And
But Delacour's a great memory for me in 2012, I think it was, again, when we were across in Valence. It was in the IRC days. And
in
remember
the
that?
Peugeot.
And they went into service and it started to snow on the
And he
call.
just knew. He knew.
And the big thing was, you talked about his friends. He was best mates with the guy who had the hotel on the call, and he
Yeah.
phoned him up in service and said, it's going to chuck it down. And Delacour could have won that rally that year
Yeah.
from that
He
one
took a
tyre
minute or
choice.
something out of
Oh, it was astonishing.
Yeah.
It was quite astonishing.
But that's what we see on Monte, and that's what's exciting.
That's
If
why
you-
we like a little bit of this kind of uncertainty with the snow.
Talking to Andreas Mikkelsen at the start, you know, we were just chatting away, and he said it is quite disappointing because they love it as well, because it gives you the opportunity to take a risk, take a gamble, doesn't it?
And there can be some very, very big time differences. Folks, this is probably my only opportunity to make a snowball. I was going to throw it at you, but it's
No
not
doubt.
even balling. Look at that.
No.
That's dry, really dry snow, really quite crystal-like snow. Should we just, before we go, let's just take a little look. That's really cold on my hands now, by the way. That was a bad idea.
But it's minus
There's
5,
not so
Tom.
much ice around here. It is compacted snow, but you don't have to go too far down. And it's a frozen surface. It's not an icy surface. That's not to say there isn't ice, because there is ice on this stage.
That's icy.
It's a wee bit icy, David. It's not massively icy. So,
No ice
folks,
there.
keep
Ice
an
here.
eye on this one. It's stage number. So it's Saturday, third stage Saturday.
Saturday.
Third stage Saturday. If you're looking for Sisteron, you won't see it on the itinerary.
11, stage 11.
Saint-Genier Thouard is the name of the
Yep.
stage. The middle of the stage, that's the place to be. That's the place to watch out for. David and I just might be here with dirtfish.com.